later. I'm Jason, I'm Shawn, or that's Shawn. And this is Mike Drop Sports, and we are talking Steelers, talking what's going on, the exciting news of the week, everything that's crazy that's transpired throughout the week in Steelers Nation, and things have been getting nuts. So, welcome back, first, everybody, to the show. Appreciate you all for coming again. Sorry for the technical issues. Hopefully, we'll have some more viewers start to build up in here now that we are live and ready to go. How's it going, Shawn? Anything new?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Jason. And always good to be here on Mike Drop Sports. Yeah, there's a lot new, man. There's a lot going on in the Pittsburgh world, bro. Tons to go over.
No doubt, man. No doubt about it. Tons to go over. As always, anybody that is new, put your comments in the chat. We'll try to answer everybody as we come through. Again, sorry for the technical issues. We're a little bit late getting through here, but we tried about 4 times and we finally got it here. So, um, Christmas is upon us. Everything good? You're ready for Christmas, Shawn? We're ready to go?
As of today, I'm finally ready. Yep, got all the last minute shopping done today.
Me too,
Did it.
man. We're all done. Everybody seems to be locked and loaded and ready to freaking go. Anybody else? We wish you guys a Merry Christmas. Also, everybody that views the videos and comes to the channel and does all that fun stuff, we appreciate it so much. And this is our every Wednesday show. Jason and Shawn talking Steelers, and we're gonna come up with a name, guys. Drop some names if you have any name ideas. We're going to think of some names and give our show a name here every Wednesday live with us here, talking Steelers, talking what's going on in the world of Steeler Nation. So let's just get started with the Steelers talk. And we'll start off with the quarterbacks. We'll start off with the easy one. We'll ease into this action-packed episode of things going on in Steelers Nation. So Kenny or Mason, who's going to start, Shawn? Do you think it's going to be Kenny Pickett coming back from injury to be the savior, or the third string quarterback, Mason Rudolph? Is he going to shine and be the savior of the city, man? What's going to happen?
I feel like they're going to start off with Mason, even if Kenny's practicing, man. At least I hope so, because I don't want him to rush him back in. Hopefully, they're not rushing him back in. If he's ready to go, then awesome. That'd be great to have our number one back. But you know what? Don't rush it, and hopefully they just go out there and let Mason play. And if Kenny is good to go, and it's like feeling a little bit iffy, if Mason gets hurt, then maybe throw Kenny out there. Only use him in that kind of like rush him into the game. But hopefully Kenny's 100%. But I'm thinking it's going to be Mason.
Yeah, I gotta say that I think it. Yeah, I'm not sure who it's going to be. What's up, JD? What's up, Michael O'Malley? Yeah, the Bungles do look better than they were when the Steelers played them. But yeah, Shawn, I agree. I think Mason should probably get the nod. I'm not sure if Kenny's 100% right now, and if he's the future of this franchise, is it in the Steelers' best interest to go out there and risk getting him hurt even further if he's not 100%? Considering you sit 7-7, you're the 10th seed right now inside the AFC playoffs. Does it make sense if you were Mike Tomlin, if you were this organization, Shawn? Would it make sense to rush Kenny Pickett back now, or do you think the Steelers are too far out of that playoff picture for them to rush back that first team quarterback?
Yeah, I don't think they should rush him back at all. Let him heal up fully and get ready, for maybe next week if Mason can maybe go out there and produce a little bit. Yeah, don't rush him. I'm not a big fan of that. People really need to heal up and be at their 100% level. Because why even rush him out there so he can't even scramble? He might panic and start throwing interceptions. We know Mason Rudolph is 100%, at least physical, ready to go. So, yeah, let Mason go out and just do this. And like I said, unless it's like Kenny Pickett is actually 100%. Other than that, they ride with Rudolph. And, yeah, what's up, JD? I want to say, what's up? You said what's up in the comments.
Yeah, man, I agree. And if you're the Steelers and Mason Rudolph is the healthy guy, Kenny Pickett's got to be able to protect himself out there. And if he's not able to protect himself, you're asking for trouble. You're right, Shawn. Asking for interceptions, asking for turnovers in a game that you're not going to be able to afford to have that happen. Considering the state of this team right now, you can't play from behind. You got to come out and jump on these Bengals early and really get things moving. And if Mason is the healthy guy, you got to go with him because damn, man, Kenny, if you can't protect yourself, he's already struggled this season. You're just adding another layer of difficulty to the whole damn thing, man. Let's stick with Mason Rudolph, though. is he the guy that deserves this chance? Are the Steelers making a mistake by putting out Mitchell Trubisky, knocking him down a rung, sitting him down? Is Mason Rudolph that guy? Does he deserve this chance?
Yeah, I think so, man. Why not? It's they've given Mitchell Trubisky how many chances, and Mason. He's been around for a few years. He knows the playbook. He played underneath Big Ben Roethlisberger. He might have a little bit of that like grittiness left in the tank because, I mean, I remember him getting smashed in the head by Myles Garrett. But remember the fire in Mason? He got right up in Myles Garrett's face, dude. The guy's fearless. He's not afraid
Mm-hmm.
to put the ball down the field, and I like that, man. But yeah, I've seen a lot of overthrown throws, and he does throw some interceptions, and he
Mm-hmm.
is a third stringer for a reason. But I like the guy.
Yeah, and I thought Mason Rudolph too, guys. Before we move on, I'm going to read some of the comments too. But Mason Rudolph, before he got that hit from Earl Thomas, when Earl Thomas was playing safety for the Seattle Seahawks, and he put Mason Rudolph to sleep. And I mean, that was a monster hit. And that right there, I thought derailed Mason's career a little bit. I thought Mason was really starting to come on, playing well, keeping the Steelers in ball games and doing what they asked. And that hit right there really derailed Mason a little bit. And I think Mason does deserve this chance. He's been loyal actually to the Steelers. He doesn't cause issues. He's a good, seems like a good team guy. He has a good connection with Deontay Johnson. Let's see what happens here. Maybe he'll spread it around and do some big things. Let's get to the comments. JD, yeah, Shawn said, what's up? Yeah, what's up? Biz put my first live stream. Good to hear people preaching the truth. Thanks, Biz. We appreciate that, man. JD also says, why risk it when your hopes are like 3%? And that's absolutely what we're talking about. I think, JD, I think we're on the same page, bud. Yeah, why risk it if your chances are slim and you're sitting 7-7? Now, if you win this ball game and other teams lose and help you out, and you could get back up this weekend, you could get back into that top 8 in the seeding. You could definitely do that if the right people lose and you win and everything works out the way it happens. T. Thomas, good evening, gentlemen. How are you doing thus far? I'm doing good. You're doing good, Shawn, huh?
I'm doing really well. Thank you.
Thanks, Thomas. We appreciate that. Michael O'Malley III. Do they start Broderick Jones at left tackle and Chooks at right tackle? That's a good question. And let's stay with that. I was going to talk about the offensive line later, but we can talk a little bit now. That's a good question, Michael. Broderick Jones moving over to that left side would be, I think, a good addition. Dan Moore has struggled. Dan Moore Jr. has struggled, in my eyes, mightily as of late, especially these last 3 weeks. He has really taken some hits, man, and he's not looked very good. I think that Chooks sitting on the bench, he's a fresh guy. He's the only guy on this team that's been disciplined by Mike Tomlin. Chooks a core for. So hey, man, maybe give him a chance. But I think that would be good. Do you think so, Shawn? Do you think adjusting that offensive line, putting Broderick back in his natural position? Broderick didn't play well last week either, but still putting him back in that natural position, putting Chooks back into his right tackle spot. Do you think that might shore up this offensive line a little bit?
Absolutely, bro. That's their comfort zones. That's how they even got to the NFL in the first damn place. Yeah, put them in there. Let them do their thing. It gets people comfortable again when they go back out there on the field. Everybody's been shaken up, and they need to go back to the roots a little bit.
I agree. Stick to where you're natural at. Everybody says, Mike Tomlin said, Dan Moore Jr. can't play right tackle, but damn, dude, he's bad at left tackle. I'd hate to see him at right tackle if you're saying he ain't any good. Like, shit. Like, how much worse can you be? Like, damn, put everybody back in their natural spots. Tell Mason Cole to hit the bricks, put in Herbig or something, and roll with it for these last 3 games. What do you got to lose, dude? I mean, seriously. Nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah, back to the comments. Dan Moore is not good. Michael O'Malley. Yes, sir. He is not good. He is bad. Um, Thanks, Thomas. Yeah, we're doing well, man. Thank you. Appreciate that. Everybody keep the comments coming. I'm gonna adjust myself here a little bit, sitting on my stool. But
Okay,
yeah,
Tommy.
so yeah, man, it's just been crazy with the Steelers' offensive line, the amount of trouble that they've been having, the inability to get the run game moving here in the last couple weeks, the inability for them to have a clean pocket for a quarterback to throw out of, and it is really hard for any quarterback in this system to be good when you have an offensive line that gives you or that allows that much pressure on a consistent basis, I think you're asking for trouble. And it's hard to see and evaluate anyone at any other position in the skill spots on this offense when you have an offensive line that's dragging this team down so much. All right, guys. We talked about Kenny Pickett. We talked about Mason Rudolph a little bit. We talked that Mason needs that chance probably. We talked about Kenny maybe coming back from injury. Let's talk into some more juicy shit here. Some things that arose this week that I really don't like. And that was the Dermonte Casey suspension for the entirety of the 2023 season, at least what's remaining. And that's including the playoffs, guys. And I know the Steelers don't have a bright future in terms of getting there or doing anything once they would get there. But that's a hefty, hefty penalty for that situation. Earl Thomas didn't get that when he laid out Mason Rudolph, and I understand it's a different NFL today than it was. But Shawn, what did you see in that situation? What are your feelings on that suspension? And do you think it's warranted?
God, I know the NFL wants to send a message to the league and the players, and Kazi had a history this year, of hitting people like that. But I think it's ridiculous, bro. I saw him hit him with the shoulder, and he didn't even hit the guy in the head. It was a clean hit, and yeah, and it's a really physical play. But guess what? It's the NFL, and it's crunch time, and people are playing for the playoffs. These guys are running at 20 miles an hour towards each other. There is no time to make minor adjustments when you got a receiver laid out in the air, coming down and coming head first, and he still missed his head. I thought it was a clean hit, and I come from a different era where we used to hit like that. And yeah, even in the NFL, man, that would have been like, you remember that segment? He got jacked up. Do you remember jacked up is what it was called? That would have been a jacked up play right there, bro. I thought it was clean.
I thought it was a clean hit. I didn't think it was. I thought maybe in today's NFL, yeah, it probably warrants a targeting of a defenseless receiver type penalty, but an ejection and a suspension of that nature, and I'm sure it's accompanied with some sort of fine. And the NFL, their rationale for all this was Jamonte Casey has had 6 other instances this season. I think this season he's been fined and all that kind of shit. So I believe that to be the case. Don't hold me to it. But they said his history has justified this type of suspension, this type of punishment. And I think when does it fall back on the quarterback a little bit? That was a bad throw by Minshew. He hung his receiver out the dry. Pittman dove at it. But you can't keep holding these guys back on defense. What do you want them to do? Tap the guy on the shoulder and say, hey, cuz, I'm about to hit you, man. So button up a little bit, get secure, because I'm about to lay the lumber to you. One moment, please. Like, come on, man. The NFL is soft. Do you think, like you saw too in the preseason, Quan Alexander got a fine, but it was rescinded when he hit Tampa Bay's running back and he cleaned his clock. A lot of people said it's a dirty Steelers. They always play dirty. That's stupid shit too. But anyway, yeah. Do you think the NFL is too soft, Shawn? I think it is too soft. And I think the amount of rules and the amount of flags are becoming overwhelming and making the game watered down. What's your theory on that?
Bro, I
Or
think they're
thoughts?
soft. They are so soft. It's gotten so damn soft, bro. They already implemented the flag football in the Pro Bowl, bro. They're already going that direction. It's getting bad, And you know what? I understand that they want player safety, and I do too. And that's where you brought up a good point. Is it on the quarterback? Because the quarterback, he threw that ball to where he put that receiver out there to get murdered. And if that receiver is going to trust the quarterback, he's going to know that the quarterback would never put me in a place to get murdered like that. So now Minshew, whenever he throws that ball, he's going to be second guessing whether he's going to be hit like that again, and he won't be making no catches like that, bro. He might not even lay out again like that for that quarterback. He lost all his. Yeah, I blame it on the quarterback.
I do too. Even guys like Tom Brady, players like that have played, in the past, that have played more in the recent future, even said, guys, sometimes the quarterback puts you in a bad spot. And I don't think KZ targeted his head or anything. Let's get to some of the comments about that. I've seen JD had put the flag was okay, the ejection kind of harsh, but the suspension is absolutely crazy. And I think you put it there pretty damn good, JD. That was a pretty good way to put it. Yeah, the NFL just takes it just a little bit too far each time. And I'm really kind of wondering what kind of league we're leading into. They're making flag football an Olympic sport. So I think that's where we're headed. And guys, I got to tell you, flag football happens, I'm out. I don't like that. I think it sucks, man. I just think it would be horrible. Another comment, Joe Vlogs, bring Eric Bieniemy in as head coach. Hey, man, I like him. He's an offensive-minded guy for sure, dude. All right, guys, we talked about that, but before we get off the KZ thing, an appeal. Do you think, Shawn, if he appeals, KZ appeals, the Steelers help him out, get that appeal going, and the players union helps him out with an appeal, do you think they're going to be able to get that reduced, or do you think the NFL will stand fast and not give him any type of reduction, or do you think they may give him a game or two off of that, or maybe let him in the playoffs if the Steelers would get in by chance?
I'd be surprised if they let up on anything. I think they're going to try to send a message to the rest of the NFL. They don't want to see these kind of hits happening anymore. And this is a golden opportunity to set the example before we go into the playoffs because they know people are going to be playing their hearts out.
I agree, yeah, but they gotta let these guys play too, man. You gotta let them play and let them play fast, and I think when you restrict these guys into a box, put so many rules on them, I think you're promoting more injury, if you ask me, because these guys are having to think so much in a game that you shouldn't think when you play. To play the proper way, to play good, and to play, in a way that you're, not injuring people and you're actually, preventing injury. You need to play fast and not think. It has to be second nature, and they're not letting these guys do that anymore. All right, guys, enough of the KZ bullshit. We're done with that. Now the Steelers have zero safeties. Let's go with that real quick before we move off. Wow, that just popped into my head. No Minka Fitzpatrick, knee injury. KZ suspended. Is this team going to be strong enough from the middle to the back end to even be able to compete in these last 3 weeks? Or do you think they're just too beat up, Shawn?
I think they're too beat up, and it's going to be really challenging for them to stay in any game left in this season. I'm not sure how they're going to do that at all, bro. We lost both of our safeties, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I don't know how they're going to get. We kind of saw how that went in the second half of against the Colts. Man, they got torched. There's
Yeah,
nobody.
you had Trenton Thompson back there. He got injured a little bit, in and out of the lineup. Then you had Patrick Peterson, who's soft as wet toilet paper. He's back there in the safety spot, looking like a clown, getting torched. I don't think there's really any answers on this football team in terms of depth, that much depth. You can't have Miles Killebrew out there playing a ton of snaps. You can't have James Pierre out there trying to play a ton of snaps. I think they're just going to be in trouble. And I think if you're not able to win in a shootout style fashion with the offense producing, you're going to be in big, big trouble. And I don't think you're going to be able to get shit done. All right, guys, let's get back to the comments here. Also, if you're new here, put your comments in. We love to see you and hear from you. And let us know what you think about this Steelers team. Also, if you haven't, subscribe, like the video, share them. We appreciate that. I'm Jason. That's Shawn. So welcome if you're new. Also, Joe Vlogs puts hockey is way tougher. You are absolutely right. Hockey is tougher nowadays for sure. And I think it always has been, actually. Those guys are nuts, man. They're
Yeah.
crazy. But anyway, it's crazy. JD, the offense is going to have to outscore everyone. And that is a laugher, JD. You're right. And I think that to be true, guys. I think they will have to outscore everybody, and it's going to be a shootout. And I don't think they'll be able to shore that back end up. I think it is bad news. All right, guys, let's shift gears here a little bit back to the offense. And let's talk about what everybody's been talking about, a topic that I'm sick of talking about, but we're going to talk about it, and that is George Pickens, his immaturity, his poor behavior, his poor choices, his lack of effort, and the list goes on and on and on. George Pickens is a bad teammate right now. Is George Pickens, let's just start here. Is George Pickens going to be able to get that under control? Do you think the Steelers should consider trading him, Shawn? Or do you think they should give him another chance, let him get through these games, get back to Latrobe, and show what he can do?
Man, that's a good question. I don't know if he's going to be able to have what it takes to get it under control because even in college, he had a reputation for acting out, even on the sidelines. I don't see that happening. I really don't. Tomlin is in as head coach right now, and I don't think he has the best reputation for cracking any whip on these guys. He likes to treat his players as men, right? Well, when you get guys in there that's not fully mature, if you will, and they get that freedom, they're going to act out. So I'm not so sure if the Pittsburgh organization is the best place for Pickens right now until we get a new
No.
coach in there that's going to actually have a
Mhm.
spot.
I agree, man. And we saw some rumors come out. George Pickens was passed on by a lot of football teams in the NFL draft, not because of that knee injury. I'm sure that played a little bit into it when he was coming out, that ACL. But I think a lot of them passed on him due to his lack of character, his immaturity issues. And that was a problem. And the Steelers have always been that team to say, let's give this guy a chance and get these project guys that they could say, hey, we fixed him. He came into the Steelers culture and he thrived. You know, we don't know what's wrong with everybody else, blah, blah, blah. They're that kind of team right now. And I think they need to get back to judging players off of character rather than just all athletic ability. You got to have guys that want it and have some damn heart. Until that happens, you're going to have this type of locker room, man. But George Pickens whiffing on that play in Indianapolis, man, that could get Jalen Warren hurt. It's the same thing as Deontay done, and people crucified Deontay for it. So I think we should all crucify Pickens for it too. But
Yeah.
Pickens gave the excuse of Tank Dell, the Texans wide receiver, blocking downfield, getting involved in a pile up, and broke his fibula. Pickens said that that's why he didn't block in Indianapolis for Jalen Warren. Do you think that's a good excuse, or do you think that's horseshit, Shawn?
I think it's a bunch of horse shit, and he'd be on the bench if I was the coach. I would have pulled him out of the game right then and there on that play. I would have went
Yeah,
San Diego on him. He wouldn't have went back out after the halftime.
yeah, and JD's asked, did you guys see Tomlin's presser on Pickens about a couple hours ago? I seen one Tuesday when he gave his presser on Tuesday. I did not see, or Monday or Tuesday. I didn't see today's. If there's a new one out there, if he met with the media, he usually doesn't. So it might be old. I'm not sure though. Who knows? We'll have to look into it. But if there's anything interesting he said, JD, put it in there that we aren't covering. Let us know, buddy. Um, but yeah, we were talking about that lame excuse. Deontay had a lame excuse, and that's going to lead me into the next. Well, before we get off of Pickens, him blaming the media also. What do you think about that, Shawn? Literally saying, "You guys don't know football. You never played football. You're not in the NFL. It's all guys like you, media guys." Do you think this kid's lost his damn mind? Do you think
Yeah,
he's that out of control or what? Like, is that what kind of excuse is that shit?
it's the younger. He's a younger mentality. He hasn't fully matured, and he doesn't know how to take accountability. He needs to take responsibility and accountability for his own actions, and don't ever point your finger at anybody. That's just that's a cowardly thing to do.
I agree. Stand up, have some damn character. People may say it's corny or cliche or whatever, but today's generation, guys, you gotta realize, dude, everybody's watching you now. You can't say dumb shit. Don't make yourself look ignorant inside the media. Don't give people ammo to talk about you. There's your first thing that you should think of. Hey man, I'm gonna give 110%. I'm not gonna say much. I'm just gonna do what I need to do, prove myself, and make sure people know that I'm a hard worker and a good guy instead of going out there and people thinking you're an ignorant asshole. But anyway, that's it. Let's get back to some of the comments while we're on this Pickens thing. Bingo nailed it from Beer Malls. Bingo nailed it. He will not thrive in our system. A 22-year-old diva who hasn't proven anything. Exactly. He hasn't proven anything. He's had some big plays, guys. He really has. He's may had some moments, but he hasn't proven anything consistently. He's in an offense that doesn't get him the football. I understand that. But do you think, Shawn, that justifies George Pickens' behavior? He doesn't get the football enough. He hasn't had the opportunities to really prove himself and show what he can do. Does that justify being an ass?
No way, not at all. There is no justifying his actions on the field. If you're not out there trying to block when you got the ball, the running back coming to your side of the field, that actually might have cost us that damn touchdown. If you ask me, there is no excuse. I think Pickens should be pulled out of the game. I don't care how great he is. He's too young. You got to set an example to these kids.
Yeah, I agree. You got to have. And people talk too. I had a comment today. A guy says, there are no veterans on that offensive side of the ball to help lead a guy like George Pickens. Let's be real, everybody. You're a damn adult when you're in the NFL. You're an adult. There's big boy consequences for playing big boy games. It is what it is. And two, aren't there leaders on not leaders, but veterans on the offensive line, guys that have played in the NFL for several years? Deontay Johnson, several years. He's 4 or 5 years he's been in the league. He's on his second contract. Uh, Guys like Mitchell Trubisky, a second or a first round pick, a high draft pick, been in the league many years. They're veterans. You can't tell me they can't guide that guy. And first of all, it's nobody's responsibility. You're a damn adult. Grow up and do your shit, bro. You have a golden opportunity to set your family up for life. Don't waste it. Don't be a jackass. Do what you gotta do, man. Sorry. That just pissed me off when people act like that. Yeah, beer balls. No, Kevin Lynch. I would love to see the Steelers go hard for Harbaugh if he leaves the Michigan Wolverines. He would be a hard ass on Pickens. He may be. Both Harbaughs inside the division might not work. Who knows? They would go crazy. It'd be death matches probably. Pittsburgh and Baltimore. But John Harbaugh is a good coach, man. I thought he's been a good coach. I thought he did well in the 49ers uniforms. Our organization. I thought he's done well in Michigan, Stanford. He's always done well, in my opinion. But will John Harbaugh come to the Steelers when the Steelers beat him in the AFC Championship game on a Hail Mary pass that was dropped by Aaron Bailey for the Indianapolis Colts in the end zone? And the Steelers went on to play Dallas and lose in the Super Bowl. Can he forget about that to come here? I don't know. Can he? Some of these guys are petty, man. They're salty. That he might never forget that, man. He might never forget that. Oh, before we move on, there's a radio station, Shawn. Shawn's from Hawaii, everybody, if you don't know, if you're new. There's a radio station in Pittsburgh, 93.7 The Fan. They do like these promotional things that give away concert tickets sometimes. They were having trivia questions. You call in, you answer, you get Pantera and something tickets. Tickets I didn't even want because I wouldn't have went anyway. But dude, I called in, answered a hard ass question, and never got my damn ticket. They ripped me off. Never called me or nothing. I called down and emailed, and they never even answered me. So 93.7 A Fan, you're a bunch of jackasses for that. And that was
What's
the
up?
question. That was the question. Who dropped the pass in the AFC Championship game, whatever year that was? I can't remember. From Jim Harbaugh, uh, or John, whatever his name is, from Harbaugh, who dropped that pass for the Colts in the end zone, and I answered it, Aaron Bailey, and I never got that. And that's a hard ass question, man. People don't
That's a
remember
good.
that usually. I
That's a
just
good.
guessed and got it right. Yeah, it was a good one. That was a Hail Mary myself. I just threw it out there. I even said in the beginning, I was like, I don't know, bro. I have no clue. And I threw out a name, and they were like, oh my God, you're right. Okay, I'm right, but you never give me my prize. Yeah, I thought he caught it. I remember reading his lips. Yeah, no doubt. That was a good one, JD. I thought he did. I thought it was over for the Steelers that day, too. All right, guys, let's move on. Any questions you have, comments, concerns, put it in the excuse me, comment section. Let us know what you're thinking, and we'll go through and read them and answer them up here. We appreciate you all for stopping through. If you haven't subscribed, subscribed. I'm Jason. That's Shawn. This is Mike Drop Sports. So we're going to continue on here, guys, with the next topic of discussion, the next hot topic. And yeah, beer malls. Where's my damn tickets? You're right about that, bro. No doubt, bro. I'm still salty about that. I'm salty as hell about that shit. If anybody got any connections out there with 93.7 A Fan, tell them the guy that answered the hard trivia question wants some damn tickets, man. I want to go to something free. Hell, damn. But anyway, all right, let's move on, guys. Let's talk about His Excellency, the Holy One, Michael Tomlin. Let's talk about him. Gotta go, guys. Should we fire his ass? Should we trade him? What needs to happen with Mike Tomlin? Or is it too early to even be talking about it with 3 weeks left in the regular season, Shawn? What do you think? Give us your thoughts on the Holy One, Mike Tomlin.
My own personal opinion would be I'd like to see him be traded for a good draft pick. He's had plenty of time to show what he can do with this team, and it's been forever. I mean, if we don't do anything this year, it's gonna be 7 years without a damn playoff win, bro. When is enough enough? Everybody in the media likes to hype him up like Tomlin is God's gift to the NFL. If mediocrity is what you want, that's your guy because he's not going to take you far into the playoffs, not unless he has Bill Cowher's players.
Hey, proof's in the pudding. He hasn't won anything significant since those first 3 to 4 years of his what do you call a king? His reign in Pittsburgh. But you're right, Shawn. The media, the national media, I think more than anything, puts Mike Tomlin on this pedestal that he is some excellent coach that makes zero mistakes. I don't think he's a horrible coach. No. But that brings me to my next thought. Do you think his message is still received by this football team? Do you think that his energy and his coaching ability is reaching this football team? Are they hearing him right now, or do you think they've just tuned him out? This younger generation of players and don't want to hear what his old ass has to say.
I think there's 2 or 3, maybe 4 or 5 players that might be catching his message, but the rest are not hearing it, bro. That's my own thoughts on it. And these younger guys, it's like they don't have any faith in Tomlin. I don't know what the problem is, but I feel like the older guys, yeah, they like Tomlin, they respect him, and they're gonna go out there and do their best to improve every week. But yeah, there's a lot of guys in there that don't have the motivation.
Yeah, they're definitely not motivated to want to do anything the coach is preaching right now. I guess TJ Watt had come out and said like Mike Tomlin's in there motivating people. It's like borderline crazy, like how much he's in there. He's in every meeting trying to get this team back on track, but they're just not very receptive. Maybe they're just that bad of a ball club. Let's get back to the comments. Also, Shawn, if you see any good comments, feel free to read them out there if I miss them, please. Robert Road, Ben Johnson, Kubiak, Bienemy, Bevel, Slovic are all possibilities for our next head coach. Yeah, man, there's a lot of good ones out there. I think there are, and I think there are opportunities for the Steelers. JD also put sometimes things get stale. Remember Andy Reid in Philly? Yeah, I agree. Do you think that, Shawn? Do you think maybe Tomlin has just gotten stale here? And do you think that it's just a natural thing now after 17 years of being a head coach? It's time for him to move on, and it's not even just because he's lost his coaching ability. It's just things have worked out that way, and it's time to move on, and everybody needs change of scenery.
Yeah, I think it's time for change, and the Pittsburgh way, with Tomlin isn't working. That they're not receiving his message, like we're saying. Not everybody. He needs to go to a new team and start over. Pittsburgh needs to start over. Everybody needs to start over here. This is a nightmare mess.
Yeah, and what kind of value do you get for Tomlin? There's so many people out here saying fire him, fire him, fire him. He's under contract in 2024. I think the Steelers need to be logical about it and consider getting a trade for him. Find out from Mike. Say, hey, show him some respect and say, hey, man, where would you kind of like to be? Where would you like to be in this country and coaching football? Where would a place that would please you? If you can make that work first, that benefits the Pittsburgh Steelers with a high pick, certainly pull the trigger. But here's the other token or other side of that coin. Sorry, Mike. If we get a better deal from somebody else, your ass is going wherever we send you. It is what it is. But can Mike Tomlin even coach for some of these owners? You have Art Rooney, who does put his nose into a lot of the Steelers' interworkings, personnel wise, and all that. But can he go play for like the Panthers owner, somebody that's so involved? Do you think Tomlin could do that, or do you think he wants to go to a place that he got free reign to do whatever Mike Tomlin wants to do?
Man, I would see him wanting to get more free reign. And somebody said something to me the other day, and they brought up Washington, the Commanders, and it's a place like that would just need all the help they can get from an old veteran like Tomlin. And I think they would give him a lot more free reign, and I could see him going to a place like that.
Yeah, I think though you got to try to get in the first round. If you can't get, I don't think it'd be a John Gruden type deal where they gave away couple firsts, couple seconds, like 8 million in cash. I don't think it'll be anything crazy like that. I think that was kind of an off the wall bullshit, typical Raider deal, spending way over their head type thing. But I think you can get a mid to late round first pick for Mike Tomlin. I think you can, and couple that with probably a third or fourth also. I think you
Yeah.
can get some value out of that, and then flip that if you're Omar Khan. The Steelers need that kind of draft capital, especially when you're in a position like they are right now. All right, back to the comments a little bit. Robert Road, if by chance Tomlin ended up with the Jets, I'd love to get Saleh as the DC. Yeah, they would have to fire him for sure. Yeah.
Mhm.
The top fifth, Beermo said the top fifth highest paid coach in the NFL. And I think he's ran his course and 1 year left on his contract. It's going to be hard to get decent coordinators. Yeah, who's going to want to be a coordinator and come play under Mike Tomlin right now with what they've seen after this season? That's a good question for you, Shawn. What do you think? Do you think the Steelers are really going to have a hard time getting a coordinator? Or do you think guys are going to be flocking to come play under Mike Tomlin or coach rather?
Well, I think you know what? I think they would flock to come to Pittsburgh and get that job. Pittsburgh's. Once you get a job in Pittsburgh as a coach, you're protected in a way with the Roonies. Everybody wants you to succeed there. You're not kind of just thrown out there into the deep end. Everybody kind of gets together and formulates a good game plan. That's what I think about it. And yeah, I don't know. What do you think, bro?
Yeah, the Steelers are kind of a premier organization. I get that. Still, they're considered one of the better ones in the NFL. So I could get guys wanting to come here in hopes that it would springboard their career. The Steelers have hurt themselves with just internal hire after internal hire. And I think that's where they went wrong. When they hired outside the organization, brought in a Todd Haley, a Bruce Arians, guys like that, I thought they did well. And I think that could make a difference. I think you need to go outside the organization, find somebody new, fresh, and exciting, and just see how it works out. It could go either way. JD put in here, worked out for Philly and KC both. After they changed, they won. Yeah, I agree, and I think it could work out for the Steelers too. I don't think this roster is that bad, but it
Yeah.
has a lot of holes. Beer malls, exactly, JD. Beer malls. Steelers are slow to pull the trigger. They pulled it late on Canada. We said that too. Yeah, they were late to pull it, about a year and a half late on Matt Canada pulling the trigger. Roberta
Again,
Campbell, what's that? Go ahead, Shawn.
I was just on that note again. Like I said, they don't want to fire anybody. It's once you're coaching in that organization, they're always reluctant to fire you. So yeah, other people they'd like that security.
Yeah, no doubt. And the Steelers are pretty loyal to you, and they'll give you a chance, and they'll let you jack you up a lot, man. They'll let you mess things up a lot and continue to keep you employed. I wish I had that job. That would be sweet. But anyway, I'd go there and mess up shit for, a bunch of money. It's what it is. But hey, we all heard that the Steelers don't really pay their coordinators very, very well. So that could be another deciding factor of a coordinator coming here. They might not make a bunch of cash, and they want to get out. Roberta Campbell, maybe a new team might even pick up some of the salary. Yeah, I don't think the Steelers would be on the hook for it. I don't know how that would work, Roberto. I'd have to do some research. I don't know about you, Shawn. Do you know how Tomlin's salary would work or anything like that if he were to
That's
be traded?
I wouldn't have any clue on how they do that with Tomlin either. I just figured they'd be going for a good trade if they could try to get something that they paid into him already, try to get something back, something new.
Yeah, the coaching salaries are different. It's not under a salary cap. There's no free agency. There's no nothing. It's a totally different thing, and I would have to get a little bit more educated onto that to see, what that would have to or what would transpire in a Tomlin trade in terms of money and financial uh, ramifications down the road for the Steelers, if any. I believe the Steelers will have everybody and their mother to want to be the next head coach, and that is like hitting the lottery for head coaching positions. I think it's security. I think that's what would probably appeal, Roberta, in my opinion, to people. What about you, Shawn? Do you think that there's a lot of coaches out there that would desire to be the Pittsburgh Steelers' next head coach?
Yeah, absolutely. What a great franchise. One of the greatest in the NFL in all time. If you can get hired in there and represent that franchise, man, that's an honor.
Yeah, I think it's a legacy type job. Hey, it's one of those jobs they don't fire, they don't fire guys often. You're going to get a fair shake. It's not like some of these teams in the NFL to where they bring you in for a year and you're gone. You just are starting to get guys in place. They're going to give you that 5, 10 year window, and that's really you're going to need some time to build an organization. Usually, Mike Tomlin just happened to be good at the beginning and shitty toward the end here, in my opinion. So it was kind of weird. So who knows? But anyway, Mike Tomlin, we talked about him, giving him another chance maybe in 2024. We'll see how it goes. But I think if the Steelers wait, that'll be another Matt Canada type issue. You're too late on pulling the trigger, and you're going to have to let him walk because he won't be under contract, and that could be the real problem. All right, let's get into a little bit of the Steelers Bengals now that we beat up on the team and its coaching staff a little bit. And let's get into the Bengals Steelers game. Give us a little bit of what you think about that, Shawn. Where do you think the Steelers sit here? Maybe what they need to do to get some steam on offense, some keys to victory, things like that. Give us your rundown a little bit on the Steelers Bengals game.
I really hope that Eddie Faulkner really changes things up and comes out with a whole different game plan for the offense, man. I hope that Mason Rudolph can come out and also provide a little something that maybe Mitchell Trubisky was unable to do. I didn't get what did we get? Like maybe 2 minutes of football to see Mason. I felt
Yeah,
like
nothing.
first I was like, man, I'd seen enough when I was watching him, but honestly, I do want to give him an honest chance as as a fan of the franchise. The guy's been there for years. He does know the playbook. I'm hoping he can bring something better than Mason. I mean, not Mason, but Mitchell.
Yeah, that's all you can hope for. I mean, it is what it is with that. Yeah, that's all you can hope for. And guys, I really don't have, like Shawn here, I don't think I have a ton of X's and O's to break down for you guys. A 7-7 football team right now that's just hanging on for dear life. There ain't much more we could talk about in terms of holes. We know the offensive line sucks. We're both in agreement on that. The quarterback position sucks. These skill guys are selfish and lack effort and lack maturity. The defense is beat up, especially from the middle to the back. They've been on the field too much. These guys are losing players now, especially in places that aren't inside linebacker. And that was one of the things that I thought if that happened, that they would be in trouble. And they are looking like they're in trouble. But guys, it's going to be tough for this team. You have the Bengals 8-6, the Steelers 7-7, sitting in the 10th seed. The Bengals are actually the 6th seed. You have the Browns in this division that's 9-5. Could this be the first year that everybody makes the playoffs? I don't know. I doubt it very seriously. So, but we'll break down this playoff thing a little bit more in the Steelers, a little bit more in the Bengals, and I want to talk about it. But first, I want you guys to put your comments in, subscribe if you're not, like, share, all that fun stuff. And we appreciate you guys for supporting us every Wednesday here. Roberta
I
Campbell,
do.
I hope Mason comes through with a Christmas miracle. Yeah, no doubt. Mason the red-nosed reindeer. Yeah, man, Rudolph.
Hey,
But
I got
yeah.
something cool. I got something cool about Mason Rudolph. Another thing about him is if you look at his stats, he's actually 3-0 against the Bengals in the past. He's technically
Oh,
never lost to the Bengals.
mm,
He's seen him
he's like,
before.
yeah, he's like Big Ben. They own Ohio, man. Maybe that's a good sign. Hey,
Come on,
if
Rudolph.
anything happens here, and I don't know if everybody else is in agreement, it would be just great if the Steelers ruin the Bengals season and dash their playoff hopes. That would make it okay. And then we could just figure out how to lose the rest of the games and move on. But you saw the Seahawks. Hey, they even beat the Philadelphia Eagles, and that's a game the Steelers have coming up after this one. Let's get back to this Bengals Steeler game. A 4:30 p.m. game, another national game for the Steelers. Like I said, 8-6 Bengals, 7-7 Steelers. I have a question. Do you think that the Bengals, with their backup quarterback, they have some injuries at receiver? I think Jamar Chase is hurt pretty good. I'm not sure if he'll play. I don't know if he will or not. But do you think that Bengals offense is still going to be able to move the ball effective no matter who they have in there, considering what the Steelers what they have going on defense? Do you think they're still going to be able to beat the Steelers up on defense?
Yeah, I do. And the reason is because we're missing both of our safeties, man. That's going to be a big challenge for the defense. They're going to be a little bit confused. They're going to see, we got guys stepping up playing the safety position that maybe never even played it before on the NFL level. So when they got to go out there and try to start making reads on an NFL level on an offense, there's going to be mistakes. Browning that he can play the spot well. He's going to, yeah, I see it being a bad day for the Pittsburgh defense.
Yeah, and I think the Steelers are going to give up a lot of points, and that's what I said. I think the Steelers are going to have to win games in shootouts now. They're going to have to put up some points, and Mason Rudolph is going to be the guy that has to do it. It looks like, at least until Kenny Pickett gets back. Roberta Campbell brought back. That's the last thing that she wants to see is Kenny come back this season. The risk reward thing that we had brought up earlier. We agree with you there, Roberta. It could be bad. Yeah, what Chase is out for the game. Yeah, so somebody Roberta put in there that Chase is out for the game, so that could mean good things. But if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, how do you overcome that? You got to put Patrick Peterson back there, probably. The communication is going to be lacking. But if you're the Steelers and what they did last time against the Bengals isn't going to be able to be done, I don't think so anyway. I think the Steelers are in a much different place. Do you like guys like Herbig and Marcus Golden at the outside linebacker position? Do you think that they should get more snaps now that the season's coming down a little bit to where it's kind of getting to be a wash? Do you think the Steelers should start looking at guys like them on both sides of the football, Shawn, to start to audition guys, really? Do you think they should go to that point? Because that's a team that sucks. When teams do that, they suck. Do you think the Steelers are at that low spot right now, or do you think they should keep on fighting?
No, they got to keep fighting, man. They got to get every starter they have to go out there and help the guys that are going to be trying to play safety. Those guys are going to need all the help they can get. So I don't think this weekend's the right weekend to be coming in and trying out for to see who does what. Whoever is the starting player and they've been starting and they've proven themselves, they got to go out there and help these guys, man. That's what I feel.
Yeah, we got a comment in here. Beer Malls. It is verified Mason is going to play. They were showing Kenny running around today. Does Tomlin act like he's making a big executive decision and say he's starting Kenny Saturday? I don't know, dude. I thought I didn't hear anything out of any like that, any verification or anything like that. I know they appointed him starter at the press conference that was held at the beginning of the week before they really started practicing. I know that had happened. So that's another thing, Shawn. Let's talk about that before we really get moving off here. The Steelers and Mike Tomlin said that they were going to make big changes. He said it in his press conference after the game. He said it in his press conference to start the week this week. Big changes. I ain't seen no damn sweeping changes. What do you think he even meant? Or do you think he's just blowing smoke up our ass like he usually does?
I think what he meant is we're going to see Mason Rudolph. We're going to see two new guys at the safety position, and that's going to be your big changes.
Damn, thank you, Captain Obvious Mike Tomlin. Man, you are a freaking genius, bro. Like, damn, we appreciate all the insight, Mike. What a great guy he is. The God, Mike Tomlin. Oh, well, JD, they are playing a lot better than earlier this year and control their own destiny. Yeah, the Bengals do for sure. No doubt about it, JD. Roberta Campbell, when looking for some kind of positive for this season, I pray TJ can break the sack record that the refs kept him from the year. Yeah, I don't know if he'll be able to do that or not, Roberta. It'd be cool to have something like that happen. Maybe Tomlin is going to give his resignation. Yeah, maybe that's the change, man. No doubt. Maybe that would be amazing. We don't want
Well,
to see that happen during the season, but still, day after, peace out, bro. I appreciate you. Thank you for your service. All right. Let's get broke down here a little bit, guys. We're going to start wrapping things up. We appreciate everybody that's came to view tonight. It's been a great show so far. Had a lot of fun with you guys and Shawn. And yeah, like I said, if you're not subscribed, subscribe, like, share, all that fun stuff. Let's give some of our predictions for this Saturday. You guys can also put them in the comments if you like your predictions. Shawn, what's your prediction this Saturday? Give me a score, maybe round it up a little bit, or give us a little background to what you're saying there a little bit, and just fill me in on what you think is going to happen this Saturday in Pittsburgh against the Bengals.
I feel like the Bengals are going to come out there and they're going to throw the ball all over the place. They're going to take advantage of the Pittsburgh Steelers being banged up on defense, missing out with their safeties. They're going to put up a lot of points. I feel like they're going to score probably like 32 points. So I'll go with 32 for the Bengals because, like I say, they're going to be throwing the ball up and down the middle of the field. I don't think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be putting up that many points. I think they're going to struggle with Mason Rudolph and the offense. We got the Deontay Johnson. We got Pickens out there throwing their tantrums. It's going to be a challenge. So, I would be surprised if we got more than 2 touchdowns in this game for 14 points. And then we're going to maybe see a field goal or two. So 32-17. Bengals win this game.
I like it, Sean. I think that you're probably pretty damn accurate on it, to what's going to happen, guys. The Steelers are in a bad way. I'm usually pretty positive. I usually pick the Steelers. So does Sean. But I can't continue to do it when you see these teams. Robert Road gave his 31-10. You're pretty close to what Sean was. Sean is 30-17, something like that. So uh, let me. I'm going to be in about the same area. I think Mason Rudolph might have a little bit of success. I don't think it's going to be a high scoring affair for the Steelers, but I do think the Bengals are going to be able to exploit the Steelers defense. It's just what's going to happen. I think the Bengals are going to have a lot of air yards, and let's not forget they have Mixon on the ground. And whenever you're able to mix the run and pass and have good balance, good things are going to happen for both sides of that, run and pass. There's going to be positives for both. And I think the Steelers are going to lose this game. And I think they're actually going to lose it by a substantial amount, double digits. And I think, again, I'm going to agree with you guys. I'm going to go with the Bengals score in the 30s. I'll go 30 plus as my Bengals score. And then I'm going to go 17-20. I'm going to actually say 20. I think the Steelers score 20, and that's on, like Sean said, a couple field goals here and there, late in garbage time, shit like that. Steelers trying to come back. But I don't think the game's going to be close throughout the ball game. I think the end score won't be indicative of really how this game went. And I think the Bengals are going to truly dominate the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I think this will be one of the final nails in the coach's coffin, in my opinion. But that's just how it goes. And I think you're going to see some big blow ups from the wide receivers. Go ahead, Sean.
You know what? Actually, I don't know. Are they going to kick field goals or are they just going to punt the ball away?
Yeah. That's another thing, dude. It's bullshit.
Tomlin. Hell no.
Yeah, it's bullshit though. That punter, he sucks bad. Presley Harvin's horrible, guys. He kills the Steelers. He is inconsistent, and when at times when he's been good, I've said, man, he got a big leg, and he'll put some kicks out there. If you go to training camp or something, you'll see him boom a ball. I mean, crush it like you ain't never seen a ball hit so far. And then you get in a game, and this dude's kicking at 20 freaking yards net, and it's like, bro, are you an NFL punter or are you like a Pee Wee youth squad, booster football league shit? Like what are you doing? All right. You guys don't forget to check out this presser today from GP and Media. I will. I'll check it out, JD. Thanks for letting us know. Roberta Campbell Steelers need to feature Jalen and Najee and Booth. You're right about that. That's the only way they'll have any success. I've
Yep.
heard the Bears are interested in possibly trading for Tomlin. Jason Ferguson said that. Hey, we'll take Fields. I would. He looked good
Yeah.
against the Browns. I thought he was going to beat the Browns. He should have beat the Browns. Robert Road, Harvin reminds me of Shank Newsom. I'm not sure who that is, buddy. I don't. Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about. Okay, I know who you're talking about now, Robert. Okay, I get it. The punter. Okay, yeah, man. Harvin's bad. He's real bad. Jason Ferguson, punters are easy problem to fix. Yeah, Jason, I think you were the one that said it in the comments earlier today. Matt Ariza is still out there, the former Buffalo Bill, who has a big leg and is an excellent, consistent punter, who was falsely accused of some bullshit, which is totally foul to do to anybody. You don't do that. You don't lie. You don't jeopardize guys and or girls, whoever. You don't jeopardize anybody's livelihood with falsehoods and preach bullshit. You don't ever do that, guys. Never do that, in my eyes. And I'm preaching to the choir. I know you guys think the same way, but it's just bullshit that anyone would do that and force a crazy amount of stress into somebody's life for absolutely zero reason. There's no need for that. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Sean, any closing thoughts, man?
Closing thoughts. No, you know what? I'm just gonna wish everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and hopefully we can have Rudolph, the red-nosed quarterback, come in and give us a little Christmas present, huh?
I agree, guys. And I'm going to piggyback off that and wish you guys also a very Merry Christmas. We'll be putting out some more content. And hopefully, we'll have a more happy live post game show. Sean's going to be doing some traveling for the holidays, so we probably will see him maybe next Wednesday. If he pops up until then, that'll be cool too. So I wish you all a Merry Christmas. I appreciate you guys coming through. You guys are awesome, so I appreciate it. And we're going to wrap it up. All right, Sean, Merry Christmas to you and your family. I appreciate you. Thank you.
You
And
too, brother.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And all right, guys, thanks for watching Mike Drop Sports. And until next time, peace, guys. See ya.
Ladies and Nation, love you guys.
See ya.